Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The 1 hour that I have with you, my desire is captured in this essence. The mind, once stretched by a new idea, never returns to its original dimension. The 1 hour that I have with you, my aspiration and desire is to expand your mind and get you to think in a very simple way, which all of us desire. Moving from good to great. If you want to move from good to great, I'll start off by this way. Let's first focus on the company. What is that one thing that would be required if you desire to move from good to great? And the answer is you need to be a transformational company. Now, what does a transformational company mean? To help me get to this concept, let me share with you this idea. For 5,000 years, how did humankind, how did people move, get transported? It was horses. So for 5,000 years, we actually got transported by horses. So during that 5,000 years, the horses became faster, stronger, and so on and so forth. But come 1902, what did Henry Ford realize? That the horses could not be improved to become a IC engine car. So what did he do? He jumped the curve and started the IC engine, which for the next 70 years ruled. The IC engine cars became more powerful, safer, more fuel efficient. And then towards the end of this last century and beginning of this century comes Elon Musk. He says, I can't take an IC engine car and make it clean transportation or offer clean transportation. So he jumped the curve and he started EV. And even before EV actually has taken root, now we have something called hydrogen fuel cell cars. So each one of this is called jumping the curve from horse to IC engine, IC to EV, EV to hydrogen fuel cell cars. One more thing you got to notice is that the pace of change has increased, 5,720 and now this. So these are all transformational events that happened and it was led by a company. And what you got to do, deep inside you believe that you can also become a transformational company. So the first element that you got to realize that if you wish to be a transformational company, then you need to jump the curve. A corporate example from your life which has become an integral part. Steve Jobs in around 2003 when he actually started building the smartphone, what did he realize? Nokia that time had market share of almost 65%, market cap of around 300 billion, and it dominated the market. But what did Steve Jobs realize? That he could not improve Nokia to become a smartphone. So what did he do? He jumped the curve and he started a smartphone. And once he jumped the curve and started smartphone, everybody else has followed suit. And this is what I want you to remember. In your industry, how can you jump the curve? By reimagining your industry. And once you change the curve, then you have actually started a revolution and the rest of the people will follow you. But is being transformational, jumping the curve enough? The answer is no. And again, let's go back to Steve Jobs. What did he do? After he jumped the curve, which is called radical innovation or transformational innovation, what did he do? From the time he actually started iPhone, launched iPhone, he already had next incremental innovation in his pocket. In the company, there were already models of iPhone 1, 2, 3, 4 already residing within Apple. So what are these Apple? The smartphone is called jumping the curve. But having jumped the curve, did he lay back and say, listen, I've changed the rules and for me it's time to now rest, relax? No. every single day, every single moment, he then started going on this curve of incremental innovation, which is iPhone 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, what is incremental innovation? And that is what you got to realize. Incremental innovation involves making small and marginal improvements, right, at solving real customer problems. Small and marginal improvements are solving real customer problems for which customers are willing to pay you a little bit more. iPhone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now I believe 15 is launched. So if I say iPhone 16 and iPhone 15, which one would you pay more for? Everyone will say iPhone 16 because you believe deep inside that it will be marginally better than what has been launched. As a result, what happened? With each incremental improvement, sales and profit grows. You've seen Apple has become not just $1 trillion, but multi-trillion dollar company. Having done the curve, it was $1 billion company. Through incremental innovation, has become $1 trillion company, those small and marginal improvements. And that is what you got to realize, that once you jump the curve and come out with that radical transformational innovation, keep on doing non-stop incremental innovation. What does it also get you? It gets you quick wins in the marketplace and helps the company stay ahead of competition. So this is the first rule that you have to do. Be transformational, and after doing that, you got to be incremental. Now you will look at me and say, hey man, that was Henry Ford, and then that was Henry Ford jumped the curve and launched IC engine. Before that, after that came Elon Musk, and then you're giving me an example of Steve Jobs. So these guys are intelligent, super human beings. I'm not one of those. Then can I do it? So look at me, look at my height, look at my voice. Absolutely very little height with absolutely no power in the voice. But have I actually done what I'm telling you to do? Take the deodorant category in our country. In 2002, when I became the president of J.K. Helen Curtis, which had Park Avenue as a deodorant, the size of deodorant market was 20 crores, was about 60 odd crores, less than 100 crores. Today, it is more than 10,000 crore. And what led to this explosive growth? Simple thing called jumping the curve. Before me, every single brand was selling deodorant. I came out with consumer insight and said, I am not going to sell deo, no to deo, I am going to sell perfume. Every single brand, including the elephants, have moved on to this new curve which is called perfume. Any brand in this country in our country of deodorant cannot sell unless it says that I am perfume. So if a person like me can jump the curve, what's stopping you? What is stopping you is only this deep desire to actually be in love with your customer and give them that new and better alternative. So first is be transformational, and after that be non-stop incremental in the way in which you keep on making marginal and small improvements. The second thing that I wish you to remember, we are in the midst of Industry 4.0. Industry 4.0 is powered by technology. And when any industry collides with technology, what happens? It disrupts it. There are so many examples that are galore today. Let me just give you two examples. Netflix is a technology company. When it collided with entertainment, it has shaken up Hollywood and Bollywood combined. Whenever technology collides with any industry, it will either disrupt it or destroy it. Here's another example, right? If you go back, you can take Amazon, a tech company which has collided with retail industry, and you know what it has done. So the first basic message that you got to remember is that we are in the midst of Industry 4.0. It is powered by technology, and whenever technology collides with any industry, it will disrupt it or destroy it. So when any one of you sitting here feel that my industry is immune from technology onslaught, you are mistaken. Every single industry, I worked in education, it has actually collided and disrupted it entirely. And what is the big thing that is happening in Industry 4.0, which has now actually reached the tipping point and become a part of day-to-day conversation, is AI, which the previous speaker, Mr. Anil Nair, mentioned. Now, I will give you a slightly different perspective to what I believe AI can do for you. Now, AI is an integral part of Industry 4.0. What is AI all about? I want to take you back a few centuries when electricity was invented. When electricity was invented a few decades back, go back. What did people feel when electricity was invented? Nobody knew the power. But a few centuries later today, what do you find? That without electricity, our life will cease to function. AI is actually the electricity of yesteryears. The power of AI we still don't understand entirely, but if it took centuries for electricity to become a part of our daily life, AI to become a part of our daily life, enrich it, is just going to take a few decades. In fact, not even a few decades, maybe a decade. And therefore, it is very critical and important for you to actually integrate AI into your business model. Can I just share with you just two examples of how you can actually embed AI or leverage AI? So here's one example. And today, like I said, in a decade from now, you will never imagine life without AI, as you cannot imagine. So let's take this example. If you go back, we spoke about Henry Ford, and you go back to 1902. What did Henry Ford say? He said, I will give you any color choice provided it is black. Right? This was 1902. I'll give you any color that you want provided your color choice is black. Now, can you imagine going into a car showroom and the only color they give you is black? Will you be disappointed? Of course you would be. So what do car manufacturers do? Now, what they do is they give you many color options. They give you many color options, but not the color that you want. So what have they done? From mass being one color, a mass solution being one color, they've customized it. From the menu of colors they are offering you, you can choose the color you like. But the range is still decided by the company, not by you. If car was such a bad thing, imagine something which is so personal to us. Take medicine. No matter what is the intensity of your headache, I'm just taking one example. No matter what is the intensity of your headache, whether it is small, is just, bursting your head, what do you have? The choice is Anacin. No matter what is the quality, the spectrum or the intensity, you have only one tablet of Anacin to take. It is a mass solution, right? Essentially, in medicine, what we have is one size fits all. But do you want it? The answer is no, because my headache may be different than your headache. My disease, although from the same genre, may have less intensity or more. I require personalized medicine. So what is required from a mass? You require something which is called personalized medicine. Right? If you get personalized medicine, then your recovery will be better and your body will be left in a better shape after the treatment is done. So here is something that I wish to share with you. AI can help you actually personalize the offerings that you are giving to your customers. And the moment you personalize the offering, the price premium that you can command is going to be much higher. So I'll just give you a small example, right? If you go to McDonald's, no matter whether you are Shah Rukh Khan or me, or Donald Trump or anybody, they will only give you one type of burger, which is a mass burger, and therefore the profit or the price that they command is relatively low. You go to Subway, what do you find there? They have a range, type of bread, length of bread, the filling, the sauces, etc. That is entirely pre-decided. But each one of us can customize our sandwich to suit us. So that is called customization. So if you can offer a customized product, then the price that you can charge is going to be higher than a McDonald's. So they make more money. But if you go to Ritz-Carlton, then they will not ask you, please order from the menu. They will ask you what kind of a sandwich do you want, and they will build a sandwich around you, right, which is called C equal to 1. The whole business model is C equal to 1, built around every single customer. So what is the thing that you have to do? You have to start the process using AI so that you build your product and your solution, which is personalized to meet each and every customer of yours, and once you do that, then you will be able to command a price premium. And incidentally, this is called a win-win solution. Customer is getting a personalized solution, and you are getting a profit margin or your profit. So this is one insight that I want to share with you, how you can transform your company to offering not just a mass solution or a customized solution, but a personalized solution. The next one that I wish to share with you is something that is very, very important. All great businesses are built on consumer insight, something that is unique. Also, if you want to score small wins, you remember the incremental innovation that we spoke about, how AI can help you not just to get great business insight, but also give you small incremental competitive advantage. So I worked with alcoholic beverages for almost 16 years. So let me just share this small thing with you. What did we discover? As the summer temperature soars, sale of beer go up. So there is a positive correlation between temperature and beer. That's a no-brainer. Everyone knows it. As the temperature rises, so will the sale of a brand like beer. Now, this is common sense. Everybody knows it. And this is what is called efficient market theory. If everybody is aware of a particular equation or a particular outcome or a particular relationship, then nobody has any competitive advantage because everyone knows that. So how do you gain an uncommon advantage? And this is where, let me take this example of Walmart. Walmart used big data to arrive at a great consumer insight. What did it discover? It discovered that whenever there was a cyclone that was about to hit a town, right, or a city, the sales of beer would go up. Normally, you will not associate bad weather with increase in beer sales. But what they discovered through big data is that the sale of beer would go up whenever a town was actually identified that cyclone is going to hit here. And when they dug deeper, what did they discover? They discovered a very simple paradigm. As soon as you come to know that cyclone is going to hit your town, you have to stay indoor and you have to kill time. What better way to kill time than to have beer? Now, what exactly is this? What exactly is this? As humans, given the power, forget the right brain where we can actually connect unrelated things. But normally, given the focus on our left brain, what are we able to do? We are able to make correlation between two related variables, temperature, high beer sales. But as human beings with our brain, it will be very difficult for us to make connection between two unrelated variables. Are you with me? Given our left brain, we are able to make good connection between two known variables, high temperature, high beer sales. But given the current thing, unless we have judgment, intuition, and more importantly, we are lucky, we will not be able to make connection between two unrelated variables. That is where big data comes to our advantage. Cyclone, bad weather, increase in beer sales. Now, I have given you one example, but what is the lesson for you? The lesson for you is that AI, big data, can help you actually unearth relationship between two unrelated variables, which can give you a significant jump or a significant competitive advantage in your business, right? And please, please, please do that. These small competitive advantage can make you, like Apple, one of the most valuable companies. The third thing that I wish to share with you is this. Whenever you go shopping, all of us, whenever we go shopping, what do? We make purchases. Whenever we go shopping, we make purchases based on the promises that the brand has made, the product or the service has made. So when we want to buy, let's say, a toothpaste, the promise made is it will kill the germs, it will make sure that our mouth is healthy. The unfortunate tragedy is what? That all of us sitting here make brand purchase decision based on the brand promise made by the producer. Now look at the recent data of ASCI, the Advertising Standard Council of India. The Advertising Standard Council of India. What have they said? That of all, and this is where you can actually report all the misleading advertisements or wrong advertisements or wrong claims made. Now what did ASCI say in its recent report? 81% of ad violations were on account of misleading claims. This is in FY24. What is the lesson for you? We also make product and services. How often do we make the right claim? And when we make the claim, we become the judge to say we have delivered the claim that we have made. Incorrect, incorrect, incorrect. If we make a claim about the product and services that we are offering, we cannot be the judge to say that we have delivered. Who has to do that? It has to be the customer who should validate your claim and say, hey, listen, I think I have received. So what is the other thing that I wish to share with you? If you wish to actually embark on a journey from being good to great, whatever benefits you offer or you claim to offer, right? Whatever you claim to offer, you have to deliver. And who will validate that? It won't be you. It is the customer who will come up and say, hey, listen, you made this promise based on which I bought it and I think I've received it. A simple, or if the customer says that I have not experienced what you promised me, then what do you have to do? You have to self-penalize yourself. Now you will say, does that happen in 21st century in this time? Domino's. Domino's says that I give you hot pizza. It doesn't say I give you tasty pizza. It says I give you hot pizza in your doorstep in 30 minutes. If I can't or I fail, then what I do is I self-penalize myself and I give you a price reduction or I give it free to you. Now this is something that you need to remember, that whatever claim you make, using AI, you have to actually make sure that the claim is delivered, and if you can't deliver the claim, self-penalize yourself. And the new word that is gaining currency is that till now we give a guarantee with an asterisk. You will have to forget the asterisk and speak about a language which is called that to your customer you have to give unconditional guarantee. And this is the new thing, that if you wish to embark on a journey from good to great, not only do you have to be transformational in your innovation, after that you have to be incrementally, you have to keep on making small and marginal improvements. Then you have to put technology, right, into the heart of your business so that it enables you to get competitive advantage. And then once you get competitive advantage, whatever promises that you are making your customer, you have to give an unconditional guarantee that you will experience it. And the customer has to say, yes, I am getting it, else I am going to, the company should say, I will self-penalize myself that if what I tell you, I haven't delivered. Let's move to the next person. And this is more important. And before I come to this, let me just share this with you, some heart-wrenching data. Earth has been in existence for 4.3 billion years. 4.3 billion years the earth has been in existence. Out of that, human beings as we know today have been in existence for less than 300,000 years. 300,000 years is how we as human beings have been living on this earth, and the earth has been in existence for 4.3 billion years. You know what it means? We have been on this earth for less than 0.37 minutes. We have been on this earth for less than 0.37 minutes. And do you know something? The shocking factor is 1/3 of the entire resources we have consumed in the last 0.2 seconds. And if we continue to consume resources at this rate, we would require another planet, as people say, by 2040. The last time when we consumed and we replenished was in the year 1970. Till 1970, whatever we consumed was by and large getting replenished. The last data that was covered was 2020. You know that 1 year when whatever we consumed, it got replenished. In 2020, whatever we consumed, right, was only till August. And if you take 24, the data is not out, it will be July. And what they are saying is that if we continue to grow at this pace, we may require another planet. In short, what are we doing? We are borrowing nature of our children and our grandchildren and our grandchildren's children. We are borrowing nature from them and exploiting and just messing up this planet. And therefore, more than us, more than the people sitting here who are more conscious about our environment, are children. They are telling us we should not burst crackers. They are telling us a lot of things that we should have intuitively believed in and acted upon. And these are your future customers. Sustainability is going to be the next big thing. And what is sustainability? So it's a huge thing, but I'm just taking one small thing and with a prayer in my lips that you need to follow this, because this is almost the law now. And what is that concept that I wish to share with you? It is called, many of you would be aware of, it's called extended producer's responsibility. What is extended producer's responsibility? In many parts of Europe, this has already come in. When extended producer's responsibility is implemented in India, it's already there in many industries. Many of you sitting here have spoken about it. When this comes into India as a law, much like the GST non-negotiable law, which will be implemented, by the force of the state, then your entire, every aspect of business will change, from sourcing, manufacturing, selling, and most importantly, retrieval. ERP. Let me just build on this so that you make it an integral part of your business plan, and if you don't, you are going to be at the receiving end very, very shortly before this decade runs out. Now, what is ERP? It is a vital tool which promotes circular economy. In some way, it is also leading to something which is called circular innovation. So, right now we will stick to it. ERP is a vital tool that is actually promoting circular economy. Why and how? It is actually incentivizing, motivating organizations to produce those products and services which are easy to use, repair, reuse, retrieve and recycle. Right? What was the earlier concept? When I worked in corporate, it was a linear model. I mine, I get my raw material, I manufacture, I sell, and my job gets over. Now, no more. From a linear model, we are moving to a circular model. What is the new model? I mine, I retrieve material, I manufacture, I sell, and at the end of useful life, I need to retrieve that product or service, right, and recycle it responsibly. And if I don't do that, there's going to be a heavy fine. And I'm just using this analogy, the GST kind of a pressure will come on you. Now what, then you will say, but how can I retrieve at the end of this useful life? Let me give you an example from the industry. I worked in alcohol. Diageo is the world's largest alcoholic beverage company which makes Johnny Walker. From their website, what do you discover? The cap, I'm just stating this, will either be of a cork, which is biodegradable, or of aluminum, which is 100% recyclable. The bottle, which was causing a bit of a problem, where are they moving towards? They are moving towards paper packaging or board packaging. So they will come out with cardboard packaging. Inside will be layered so that the liquid does not interact. At the end of it is 100% biodegradable. And the label and the glue that is used is water based. I'm just giving you an example. So when ERP comes in, the way in which you conceptualize a product, the way you manufacture it will change entirely, because now you are not just responsible for selling and making, manufacturing and selling and making money, you are also responsible for the bio impact it creates your product at the end of its useful life. Let me give you another example. You will say, fine, alcohol, you can do it. Let's take something which is an integral part of our life, electronics. And I'm just giving you one solution that a company has come out with. This electronic waste is causing landfill and all the bad repercussions that happen. So what has this TV company done? If you buy a television for 50,000, buy this television for 50,000, but you will be billed for 50,000, the price, plus 25,000 rupees deposit. At the end of its useful cycle, the television has to be returned back to the store, and they will refund that 25,000 that they have kept as a deposit. On that deposit, they will pay you the bank rate as well. What is it supposed to do? It's supposed to financially incentivize you to go back and give it back to the retail store so that it can be recycled responsibly or disposed of responsibly. You will say, fine, television is a large price ticket item. What about PET bottles? Here's another example that's already there, and many of you would know that. Let's say if there's a water brand which sells 1 million bottles every month, and the weight of PET that is going out is, let's say, I'm just giving you an example, 1 ton of PET is going out every month through the bottle that they are selling. What is ERP going to tell them? You are responsible, right, at the end of its useful cycle. But the point is, your distribution is so wide that you cannot go across the country and collect each and every bottle. So what have we done for you? If you are selling 1 ton of PET every month that's going out of your gate, then you also have to get back every month 1 ton of PET bottle irrespective of the brand. Now if every PET bottle company starts taking back, right, to responsibly recycle every ton that they are sending out, there will come a time when whatever is going out is coming in. Now this is what I wish you to actually remember. Extended producer's responsibility is something that you have to start working now. And it will change the way in which you design your product, the way in which you source your raw material, the way in which you manufacture it, the way you sell it, and the way you retrieve it. And this ERP is going to come in sooner than later. The next thing that I wish to share with you, if you want to become from good to great, is something called purpose. More and more customers will stop buying a product just because you make it, because the level of competition will increase. So what will be your differentiator? What will be your unique selling point? Why will customer vote with their wallet for your product? or for your company's product? And the answer resides in something called a purpose. What is a purpose? It can be explained, as you must have seen this many times. There is something called what you make, how you make it, but this is where corporate world by and large stops. They know what they are doing, whatever they are producing, and they know how they produce it or how they make it. But the last part, why they do it, has actually never become an integral part of the business lexicon. And if you don't adapt this why, then your how and what will cease to have any meaning. Your business will actually die a very cruel death. More and more people will buy your product, not because what you make and how you make it, but why you make that product. Right? So let me give you a few examples. Let's take Google. What they do is search, right? They help us. A lot of this presentation data has been sourced from Google. So what they do is search. How do they do it? They came out with this thing called page ranking algorithm. But these are, if you go back, these are not just the two things that actually made Google Google. If you go back in history, there were at least 10 companies before Google who were actually in the search businesses. Then why did it succeed? There could be various factors, but one factor that I am saying from day one that they had, right now debatable, but what actually led to their impetus was a very simple thing. What did they say? That the reason why we exist, which is also called the mission statement, the reason why a company exists, is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful to one and all. Now, this is the reason why Google grew. This is a higher purpose. It's got nothing to do with making money. But the point is that once you have a higher purpose, then money, profit is a byproduct. Today, Google is among the top 10 most valuable companies. You will say Google is fine. Let's come to the next company. And just if you go back, you will again see that Google was a transformational company which has been doing incremental innovation since the day it was launched. At the heart of it is a technology company now powered with AI, correct? Then whatever it promises, it delivers to you. If it says, I'm going to give you results, it is able to give you such results. So these are companies, and then it has and when it comes to sustainability, if you look at most of those servers and a lot of things that they are doing is aimed towards sustainability. And when you come here, they have a higher why. Why am I sharing all this with you? That if you take any company that you admire or have become an integral part of your life, almost 60 to 70% are actually have lived this path. So if this path is so easy, why aren't you following it? Let's move from here to another transformational company, Uber. Let's go back and look at those steps that we have taken. It's a transformational company, right? It transformed, it jumped the curve. Before that, we had taxi. It jumped the curve and it said, I'm going to give you ride sharing, I'm going to be a matchmaker, right? Between the rider and the guy, the driver. And what did it do? It had this proprietary technology and the map which is next, etc., etc. So it was a transformational company which kept on doing incremental innovation. For example, payment, right? I can give you any number of examples. It has incrementally, after jumping the curve, it has kept on doing incremental innovation. At the heart of it is technology, and now powered by AI. And then when you come to it, it delivers what it promises. If it says, I'm giving you, I'm connecting you within 5 minutes by and large, exceptions apart, it connects you and it tells you what time it will reach you, right? So it is doing most of it. Now, what it does, right? We know it's a matchmaker between the owner of the vehicle and the rider. It has a proprietary algorithm, it has a proprietary map, etc., etc. But why? That I think is the most important thing. So what does Travis Kalanick, The guy who founded Uber, what did he do or what did he tell? So suppose you were the software engineer who were working in Google and Facebook. That time Uber was just an idea. If he wanted to hire you and you were the Silicon Valley software, the best minds working in some of these best companies, what did he go and tell you? He asked you a very simple question. He asked you, do you want to make transportation as reliable as running water? And the people said, yes, I want to. Then come and join me in Uber. Let me give you this example from Mumbai. I stay in central Mumbai. If I have to get a taxi, the Kali Pili, the black and yellow, I can never get it. Never ever get it. And I have to stand in the scorching sun for half an hour, not knowing whether the next half an hour also I'll have to stand there. But with Uber, what it is like, if I go back home, if I open my tap, I get water, Uber is just as dependable as a running water. Even at 4 o'clock I get it if I have to catch an early morning flight, or I get it at any time. So what is Uber's why? Transportation that is as reliable as running water. Now look back into your company and let me just do this small exercise which actually talked of sustainability. Why is Elon Musk and his company so big, so valuable? And I'm just having one company in mind, not his other companies, is SpaceX. Now if you look at SpaceX, what is it? What does it do? It's into space exploration. It does space exploration. How does it do it? I think it's a very wonderful example. It designs and builds reusable rockets. It's again transformational. NASA, with all its spending, never thought that a rocket that went or a spacecraft that went out in the space can be reused. It was a single shot spacecraft, right? So he said, I want to design and build reusable rockets and spacecraft capable of carrying people, humans, to Mars and other destinations in the solar system. This is what he's doing. How is he doing it? But the most important question is, if you go back to sustainability, what did I say? That if we continue to use the resources at the current rate, by maybe 2030 or 2040, we'll require another planet. I'm not saying in anticipation to that he has done this, but what is Elon Musk's higher purpose? Making humanity multi-planetary. It's got nothing to do with money. And the more he makes this and this, the more money he makes and the more valuable he becomes. The question before you is very simple. You know what you're doing. You actually know how you're doing it. But do you have a good why you are doing it, so that people can also relate to your why? This is a source of competitive advantage which is called unique selling proposition. You need to have that and build it into your business strategy. So here's one example from a very popular company, P&G. What do? They make product of daily use. And how do they do it? They make it available at an arm's length of desire, right? Any of their products. They make these popular household products and make it available at an arm's length of desire, and we buy it. But what is their higher purpose? The chairman said our higher purpose is to improve the lives of the world's consumers. Now this is not just a statement. I want to improve the life of the world's consumers. People who consume products, my product, their life should be improved. You will say, but how can you do it with a Tide or a Pamper? How can you do it with a Pamper? How can you improve life? So let me just share that with you. What P&G has done, it's taken improving the life of the world's consumer and built it into the strategy, business strategy, and I'll share that with you how, by building on this and saying we improve more lives in more places more completely. They built on this and made this more lives, more places, more completely, and it has to be measurable. You just can't make a statement like that which can't be measured. So what cannot be measured cannot be improved. So what did they do? Here's West Africa. They've come out with Pamper mobile vans. What does this Pamper mobile van have? It has a doctor and nurses. They go into the interiors of West Africa, where the doctor actually sees the child, right? And you know, in our part of the world, the largest death happens during birth because of underweight, malnutrition, etc. So what does Pamper Van do? It's a very simple thing. It goes to these villages, the doctor examines the child, refers them to hospital or gives preliminary treatment. After doing that, they take their permission if they can send them messages, and after doing these two things, to each one of them they give 2 Pampers, right? As a result, what has happened? The death of children, child death has fallen. The people, the employees of P&G have actually got enthused and emotionally charged, because now they are just not selling Pampers, they are saving lives, and sales have gone through the roof. What is the message for you? When you become a social organization which is actually solving your society's problem in which you operate, you are likely to win their goodwill and your business is likely to succeed multiple times than the perception you may have that it will be a drain on my business. It will not be a drain provided you are able to build your why into your business strategy. If you ask me during question answer, I can also tell you how alcohol, I had actually built it into a business strategy which helped us. Right? Everything you can, please feel free to ask, because these are small steps which seems innocuous, but if you take them, you are likely to reap benefits. And one of the things that I want you to think is ahead of time, that just don't look upon your company as a money making machine. Many of these organizations are social institutions that are there to serve society. All the products that you make, at the end of it, whichever way, they are there to serve society. So don't look upon your company merely as a money making machine. So if you, and I'll just share this with you. I worked with United Spirits. Dr. Vijay Mallya was the chairman. And when I joined United Spirits, the basic theme was that the purpose of our business is to make money. But today, profit is number 3. What are the top 3 things? First is people, planet, and then profit. Or now, given the sustainability crisis that we have, planet is on top, followed by people, then profit. So as a result, here I am saying something, and I want you to actually reflect on it, or please counter me on this. We all make, every one of you sitting here, make a business plan. Every one of you sitting here make a business plan. Every year you make it. But let me tell you, business plan is out. The next thing that you have to do is business plan is out, is called customer plan. What is a business plan? A business plan is a plan that you make for your company centered around to protect the interest of your company. A business plan is designed to protect the interest of your company, how to increase sales, how to increase profit. Customer doesn't appear there in number terms. So the next thing after business plan is something that I am proposing to the world, is called customer plan. You don't need a business plan, you have to start drawing a customer plan. And after seeing the sustainability data, what am I going to tell you? Business plan is dead, customer plan is on, but the next big thing, and this is what I am proposing to the rest of the world, that you have to now have something which is called the social plan. This is what I am proposing. Do you have a social plan? If you don't, you have to start working on this, because in a few years' time, this will become mandatory. Today, bits and pieces are lying all over the place. They will all come together, and you will be required to come out with a social plan. Let's move to one thing I think Mr. Raman spoke about. So here, I just want to share, he mentioned 2 things in 2 different compartments, leaders and coaches. So let me just start off. I worked in corporate, I've taught, I do corporate training program. So let me go back to my teaching thing and to my corporate experience. Now, every single one of you sitting here work in corporate, most of you. And what is the current structure of the corporate? Where do you think the current organization is inspired from? The current organization structure, where is it inspired from? Sorry? I didn't get you, please. Oh, no, 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 no. It's not inspired from there. Is anyone else? It's inspired from the military. You have a general and everybody is a soldier. What the general says, the rest of us have to follow. Right? And this is where the leadership concept has been inspired from. One guy takes a decision, everyone has to follow. And therefore, a company is full of one leader and rest of us are followers. Now, this is an exaggeration, but there are few leaders and most of us are followers. But in 21st century, what is the big change that is going to happen? The big change that is going to happen is that we require not few leaders and everybody followers. We require a company full of leaders at every single level. You need to have a leader, which is called distributed leadership model. And how can you achieve this distributed leadership model so that at every level you have a leader? Is called, in my opinion, that what you have to do is you have to move. Each one of you is sitting here is a leader. You have to cease being a leader and start being a coach. Now, in my opinion, and when it comes to corporate world, what is the difference between a leader, a coach, and of course a mentor? So let me share my perspective. A leader is on top, he takes a decision, every one of us follow. So leader has followers. A leader by definition has followers. Without follower, a leader cannot exist. Let's come to a mentor. A mentor is somebody who has an expertise. And when he has an expertise, then what happens? If you have a problem, you come to the mentor, he gives you a solution based on his expertise. But what is the problem with a mentor? Because he gives you a solution to your problem, he has made you dependent on him or her. So what is a coach? The coach is something different. If I am your coach, then when you come to me, I will not give you a solution. But I will pose a question to you. When you try to answer, you will get the solution. And once you get the solution, you will become more confident. So you have to transform. As a leader, you are today the ATM for solving problem. You are a leader, you are like an ATM, your colleagues come, they push the problem in you like the credit card, out comes a solution and they go back happy. You are happy that you solved the problem, but do you know what a monster you are creating? You are creating all these people dependent on you. And therefore, from today, in your company, you just don't require a few leaders, you require leaders at every single stage level, distributed leadership. So cease being a leader, start being a coach, right? So that you have leader at every level. So these are some of the steps that I have taken. First is that you have to be a transformational company and therefore you have to follow radical or transformational innovation. Once you do that, don't sit back and believe that the job is over. You have to then start on a journey of incremental innovation, which are small and marginal improvements aimed at solving real problem of your customers, for which customers are willing to pay you an incremental value. Once you do that, then you have to believe, and not just believe, it is beyond you now. We are in industry 4.0, which is powered by technology. And if it is powered by technology, whenever technology collides with any industry, it will disrupt it or destroy it. And today, the biggest thing that has happened, the tipping point is AI. Now, what you have to do is either wait to get disrupted or destroyed, or leverage the power of technology to actually create businesses which can give you enduring competitive advantage. I've just mentioned two things. Instead of providing mass and customized solution, please provide please provide personalized solution. Build your business around a customer, C equal to 1. Or strive and get relationship between unrelated variables, right? Cyclone and beer sales for your business. It will give you enduring competitive. I've just given you 2. I can give you 25 such advantages which you can follow tomorrow morning. The biggest disappointment that you have as a buyer is producers make certain claims, you buy it, and then you get disappointed. So start using technology, make sure that whatever benefit you offer is actually experienced by the customer, otherwise self-penalize yourself, which is called unconditional guarantee. When you move from here, all that is fine, but sustainability is the biggest thing. If not for you, do it for your children, do it for your grandchildren. We are actually buying their nature and consuming it recklessly. 4.3 billion years the earth has been in existence. We have been there only for 300,000 years, which is 0.37 minutes. And what we have done is 1/3 of the resources we have already consumed in the last 0.2 seconds. And if we continue to do this, we will require another planet. So start getting on ERP, Extended Producer's Responsibility. Redesign the way you source material, the way you manufacture, the way you sell, and the way you retrieve. Moving on from there, you need to have a higher purpose of business. What is the higher purpose of business? It cannot be, and that will give you a competitive advantage. In your industry, people know what they are doing, people know how they are doing. Everybody does almost the same thing. It's a commodity thing. So how will you differentiate yourself? When you have a higher purpose. And that purpose is just not about making money. You have to serve your customer, right? A higher purpose. And lastly, your job does not actually end by just making yourself a leader, getting that promotion, getting that increment and moving on. Your job is to become a coach and create leaders at all levels. Now, having talked about this from a company's perspective, I want to share this. What about you? This is what the company has to do. But what about you? Who will do this? Each one of you sitting here has to actually transform yourself as well. Now, where will you get those skills or the toolkit? So, World Economic Forum comes to the rescue. What does World Economic Forum tell us? That Industry 4.0, Industry 4.0 in which we are in the middle of it, is not entirely formed. If they are not entirely formed, then how can you prepare for an industry that is not entirely formed? And therefore, World Economic Forum says, hard skills apart, there are 10 skills that each one of you sitting here need to acquire. If you acquire these 10 skills, then no matter what shape Industry 4.0 takes, you will be well served. If these skills are important for you, they are critical for your children. You need to have dining table conversations and instill these skills into your children to make them future ready for Industry 4.0. And what are these skills? These skills are creativity, innovation, critical thinking, framing the right question, smart problem solving, lifelong learning, storytelling, influence without authority, humaneness, entrepreneurial spirit. Now, these are the 10 skills that you need to have, and if you don't have them, you will be at a disadvantage. But more than you, it is your children that require to have this. Now, out of this, because I had 1 hour, which I think I have just about 5 minutes, I'll just take out of this, which skill do you think is the most important one? Just as a dipstick thing, which skill do you think is most important for you or for your children? Humaneness. Excellent. Humaneness is very, very important and is very, very important. But does everyone realize why humaneness is very important? Or may I share that with you? Humanness is very important because that is insaniya, that is being human beings. Now, human beings have 2 brains, one brain with 2 sides, left side and right side. Left side brain is about rational thinking, calculation, etc., multiplication, logical thinking. The education system in our country is actually geared towards only nurturing sharpening, polishing the left side of our business, left side of our brain. And you know what? The strength of a computer is also calculation and logic and rational thinking. Now there is no person with whatever intelligence can take on a computer when it comes to computation, logic and rational thinking. But that is what you are trained for. So don't ever, it's a 800-pound gorilla, you can't win with a computer when you use your left brain. So let that guy do that job. So what is the right side of your brain? It stands for intuition, judgment, humaneness, kindness, caring, etc. So you need to develop that part. But can I just say, among one thing that I wish you, which I think is very, very important for your corporate world, along with humanness, is something that I want to share, which is called critical thinking. What do you think is critical thinking? Which I think is very, very important for all of us. If you want to be transformational thinker, incremental innovator, if you want to actually do all that we have said, then you need to be a good critical thinker. What is a critical thinker? And this is the most important skill, if at all, that I wish you to acquire. So let me just share with you what sets this man apart. Anyone? What makes him set apart? Think differently is fine, but I don't think differently is the reason why he is what he is. So may I just share, he's a very good critical thinker. Let me just share with you what he did. Before him, what was the paradigm, what was the thinking, assumption, norms, what was the tradition, what was the assumption, what was the norm, that if a vehicle moved, it will pollute. If a vehicle moved, it will pollute. That is what the standard, right, that was the standard tradition, assumption and norm. What did Elon Musk do? He challenged the existing assumption, tradition and norm and said that cars will move, but they will not pollute, which means here's my model which I am presenting to the world, which is called value migration. Where was value before Elon Musk came with his EV? It was at the bottom. We wanted quick and cost-effective transportation. We never even thought about pollution and damaging the environment. But what about our children? Children are saying we just don't want to be transported quickly, efficiently and at the lowest cost. We want clean transportation which does not pollute. So where was Elon Musk operating when he came in 1999? Toyota, Honda, Maruti, all were operating on the bottom line, offering you quick, safe, fuel efficient transportation. But where had the value migrated? To clean transportation, and he started, actually he launched Tesla and he won. What did he do? He challenged the tradition, assumptions and norms. So if you want to do all this, then one of the things, all of them are important, but you have to be a good critical thinker. And lastly, because we come from India, I just want to ask this last thing. Next to humaneness was entrepreneurial spirit. What do you think is entrepreneurial spirit according to you? What do you think stands for entrepreneurial spirit when you say that?
Creating customer conscious products.
But that is creating a good a product for a market, right? But what is an entrepreneurial spirit, which should reside in each one of you apart from being a critical thinker? Yes, sir. But that is problem solving. Problem solving and entrepreneurial spirit are two different things. You could be a great problem solver without having an entrepreneurial spirit. Anyone else? The last. Sorry? Sustainability is just one part of a business strategy. Accountability is just being like a leader. Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir. But then you are a crisis manager.
It's a risk taking.
Risk taking is, risk taking is an overused word because you can actually lead to disaster. If you don't take balanced risk, you will lead to disaster. Yes, sir. Solve a customer problem. That's how businesses are built. Yes. Out of box thinker is creativity. Sorry, sir. Never give up is resilience. Sorry? Idea for profitability, then you become a profit making machine, which we said is not the reason why you should exist in 21st century. What is a vision? What is a vision? Vision, so what is a purpose? So the question is that we tend to use these words interchangeably: purpose, vision, higher purpose. So please remember that these are, we must know everything, but the point is, sitting here at this table, if you have to guide your team to victory, then you must know the difference between these nuanced words. Right? So can I just share, because time is short, entrepreneurial spirit basically is, and I'll just share this is not my thing, you may have heard of Professor, so I'll just read out the definition of critical thinking. Critical thinkers, and this is what you got to do, please, every single day, every single minute in your corporate career, this is what you have to do. And if you don't do it, you are doing a disservice to yourself, to your actually shareholders, and to your customers. So what is actually critical thinking? Critical thinking challenges tradition, they challenge tradition, question assumption, and defy norms. They reason through logic, filter out biases, possess diversity of thoughts, and do not fall victim to heuristic. Heuristic is shortcuts. It's like temperature increases, sale of beer go up. This heuristic. But many times this heuristic can actually cause us to fall flat on our face. This enables them to arrive at better judgment. It's again right brain. Think deeply and become skilled problem solvers, right? The way Elon Musk has solved all the problems. So this is very, very important. You need to become a good critical thinker. Coming to entrepreneurial spirit, and this is not my definition, this is Professor C.K. Prahlad, who is no more, right? But he was the biggest thinker of our country. One of the biggest thinkers of the world. Why our country? He was an American citizen. So what did he do? He used these words A and R. A stands for aspiration and R stands for resource, and this is very, very critical for each one of you sitting here, because one of the excuses you may give yourself and to your bosses is likely to be here. So please be careful about this. So he said there's something called A, which is aspiration, R called resource. So what does a professional manager do? A professional manager's aspiration is always equal to or less than the resource offered. So if your boss says we have 100 crores, you will make a business plan equal to 100 crore or less than 100 crores. Correct? By and large. But who's an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur spirit is that you will not have a single penny in your pocket, but you will desire to reach out for the moon. That is what is required. So you don't have to be a Steve Jobs, you don't have to be a Binny Bansal, you don't have to be Kunal Shah of cred. You don't have to be. There are startup artists who have loads and loads of entrepreneurial spirit. But this is what your company requires on you. They don't want you to be a leader. But what they want in you in large measure is that you should possess something which is called entrepreneurial spirit. Now with this, I want to share this with you. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. I hope I have actually, given you food for thought to expand your mind, to get you to things in directions which can lead you to prosperity. I hope I've been able to give you some path that you can start discussing and walking on, which can help you build a future-proof business. And I hope that you can actually create some of the most valuable companies of the planet. And what I request you to do is, just don't think about winning in India. Have a world mindset. You have to build a company that will be the world's most valuable company. If others can do it, so can we, right? And these are some of the simple, in this 1 hour I could only share with you, maybe I can share another 7 steps that could be much more comprehensive. But if you follow on the step that I shared with you, I'm sure this journey will lead you to prosperity, creating a valuable company, and you will create jobs in our country, and you will make our country proud. So with this, I wish you success, and thank you so much for the time given to me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, Any questions? Please put your hand up. We'll send a mic to you. Right. Looks like you want to talk to him offline, from what I can see.
So we are really fortunate to listen very, very distilled thought, because sometimes these thoughts takes years to build, and we are like fortunate to listen it in 1 hour, and it's really enlightening to listen, and it's very, very even thought provoking also.
Sir, thank you so much. So if just to put it, so whatever you have in your company, please put it into a business framework. So there's something called data, there's something called information, there's something called wisdom, right? So what I have done is I've taken the data, information, and actually served you wisdom. So this is the first thing. And the second thing I want you to promise, pay it forward. Pay it forward. Now, if I were you, I mean, I do workshops for some of the leading companies, and what I tell them is that just to tell you, one is called lifelong learning. If there is one skill that each one of you should possess, I mean, all are important, is be a lifelong learner. How can you actually become a good learner? So if you like these thoughts, how can you actually make them a part of your everyday life? You know how? By going and actually teaching them or doing a session with the people below you. So you go and take your 10-20 people and share this with them, and tell those 20 people to go and share it with the rest of the company, and so on and so forth. The cascading effect will create a mini revolution. Then what will happen is these thoughts will not remain in this classroom, they will become a movement. So if you have 120 companies here and 120 companies, let's say even if there are 1,000 people there, we will have 1 lakh people involved in this movement of transforming their company from good to great. When that happens, India gains. So please go and take this to your people below you, who should then take it to the next level. Thank you, sir.